Hi there, everybody. I'm Rosslyn. Welcome to episode 3, which is chapter 3 of my series, where I will let's play Knightmare, the Dragon's Lair. I don't think this... Oh, it does say who wrote it. It was Dave Morris. Brilliant. I should have said that in the previous things. Sorry, it doesn't say on the front or... Oh, it does say on the spine. Most of them don't say at all. I will have to see if it was him that wrote all of them. Anyway, I digress. We're on to chapter 3, Song for a King, and we get this lovely picture of some kind of bird there at the top. You have all the information I do. I don't know what kind of bird. That evening in the great hall, roaring fires and tankards of mulled ale soon drove away all thoughts of the bleak, snow-covered lands outside. King Ethelred and his court were seated at benches forming a large U around the hall. Laughter and merriment brimmed to the rafters as they dined and drank and watched the succession of entertainers who had flocked from miles around to perform at the feast. 2 barrel-bodied wrestlers, bodies greased and glistening in the firelight. Oh, you get a picture of them greased and glistening in the firelight over the page. How delightful. There they are, all lubed up and slithery, having a fight. Goodness. Anyway, those pair, greased and glistening in the firelight, had grappled hard in contest to decide which was the stronger. William watched aghast. The bout made WWF look like a vicar's tea party. When was this book written? Oh, okay, 1993. Yeah, it just seemed quite modern compared to some of the books I'd been reading. Yeah, no, that's fair enough. Also, quite a good, would it be a simile? Rather than a metaphor? Yeah, I think so. The bout made WWF look like a figures tea party. Good use of simile there. Sorry, I'm flanneling on a lot for this chapter so far. Anyway, having quite the fight. At last one of the wrestlers had got the upper hand. To thunderous applause, he wrenched his opponent off balance, twisted him across his hip, and slammed him into the floorboards. Next came acrobats who tumbled and danced around a juggler, who somehow managed to keep a dazzling array of coloured balls and silk scarves in motion through the air. William was at first surprised that the juggler was just as good as the ones he had seen in his own time. Then he felt foolish. After all, why shouldn't a juggler from the 8th century be just as good as one from the 20th? The juggler's act ended with him catching each ball in turn and tapping it on the table in front of the king. The ball broke in two and a small bird flew up into the thatching of the high roof. "Isn't that cruelty to animals?" said William to Fay, when he was sure no one was listening. "It shouldn't be allowed." "This is a cruel age," she said. "Soon you'll find just how cruel." After the juggler came musicians with simple harps and pipes. The tune was jaunty and set William's feet tapping. As the musicians played, the king's son entered the hall and all eyes turned. A few years older than William, he was tall and handsome with long golden hair and grey eyes which made him look like a younger version of his father. He smiled and bowed graciously as one of the warriors leapt up to give him the seat at Ethelred's right hand. "That's Osric," said Fay with a smile. "Oh, I'd rip down my pop star pin-ups to make room for him." "Oh, don't say it," groaned William, dismayed to find yet another parallel to the 20th century. "Anyway, he probably can't sing." "Speaking of which," said Fay, I think you're on next. William looked up. The musicians were filing away. To his horror, several of the nearby courtiers were looking in his direction. An old man waved him forward. "Come, lad. You are the bard, aren't you? Entertain us, then." William felt a bit sick. He stumbled forward towards the middle of the hall. His tongue felt like a piece of dry felt stuck to the roof of his mouth. He heard someone say, "This is the lad with second sight." The ale-dazed warriors watched him indulgently. He found he couldn't help staring at one huge-bellied fellow with flaring red hair who was gnawing noisily on a haunch of meat and washing it down with great gulps of ale. "Don't anybody stick a pin in that guy," blurted William. There was a great roar of laughter at this. The red-haired man glared around, frowning and puzzled for a moment. Then he too burst out laughing. "That's broken the ice," muttered William under his breath. "But what now? I cannae sing." Faye was beside him, though still invisible to everyone else. "Bards don't sing," she said. "They recite their words like poetry." "Come, lad," boomed King Ethelred. "They say you are gifted with visions. What ballads have the spirits taught you?" William glared sidelong at Faye. "You got me into this mess," he whispered. "Now, gie's a ballad." Faye leaned close over his shoulder. "Just repeat each line after me," she said. "Oh, and can you do a Derbyshire accent?" "What? No," grunted William, smiling weakly along the line of courtiers waiting for him to begin. "Pity," said Faye. "The Queen's English as you speak it, isn't he? Much like the King's English that they know. Still, here goes. Am I supposed to be speaking the Queen's English here? I will switch to that for the next chapter. I had no idea. Yeah, I just assumed they were Scottish. Fair enough. Alright. I didn't look it up. I suppose Traegard wasn't, was he? Yeah, it should have occurred to me maybe. Oh well, anyway. Didn't read it before I started. Right, so he's getting his lines off of Faye. Right. So William, completely at Faye's mercy, began to blurt out the lines she told him. Well, I'll try putting on a wee English accent, I don't know. It was a time of hardship, and everywhere the anger of the dragon was seen in gutted barns and barren fields. Then two close companions, worthy hall heroes, came hard against the walls of the welkin, scaling high peaks to put an end to terror. One golden-haired with eyes of grey, that's what's his face. His comrade with blue eyes blazing, they advanced to face their foe. No idea what Derbyshire sounds like, I should say, for an accent. Anyway, so his comrade with blue eyes blazing, they advanced to face their foe, but 3 drops of blood sufficed to win that battle, and parley and wordplay were the only sounds, while steel remained sheathed and shields unlimbered. Soon the heroes' labours one piece, and when the dragon's pool ran clear, it was a time for the giving of gifts. The golden one savoured but a sip from that spring waters where he glimpsed and grasped his destiny. His friend favoured a future drawn in dust. The passage of years sits heavy on men's shoulders, but counts for little in the dragon's unblinking eye. In such a time the tide of treachery can rise. Blue eyes now glint with greed, hatred dwells in the heart. He who had been a hero, a sinister sorcerer now, seeks to steal and shatter the dragon's shell. With the blood oath broken, grief shall fly across the land, and he who put on the mantle of the monarch, he shall mourn his golden son. During the ballad, King Ethelred had sunk into a sombre mood. Now he sat staring at William as though seeing right through him. The goblet in his hand tilted, forgotten, slowly dripping its contents on the floor. He looked ashen. Silence gradually advanced along the hall as everyone noticed the effect the ballad had had on their king. It's not a good one, is it? You know what I mean? I feel for him. William himself was a little bewildered. Yeah, like me too, as well, a little bit. I'll have to go back and read it back, because I'm in a similar state to William here. It's saying that he had been concentrating on reciting the words as Faye spoke them into his ear, so he had hardly had time to take in their meaning. In fact, give me just a petty minute to quickly skim it. It's not looking too good for the prince, is it? In terms of being an omen? Oof. Yeah, okay. So now William, he had a nasty feeling that he might have been tricked into saying something dreadful. Does sound like a setup, doesn't it? Slowly King Ethelred got to his feet. "This lad has truly brought us the words of the spirits," he declared, "for no mortal man knows the events of which he spoke. Some of you may remember a time many years ago, before I was king of this land, when the dragon Talionis, who dwells in the northern hills, came down to steal our cattle. Many heroes took up their war gear and ventured into the dragon's lair, never more to see the light of day. But 2 young warriors came at last, hoping to win fame and fortune." Ooh, is it a saga of the past then, not an omen of the future? Anyway, the warrior with eyes like the cloudless sky was Caedmon. I was the other. Ooh, bruh. We entered the caves, meaning to put an end to the dragon or die in the attempt. But the dragon spoke to us in an old tongue that Caedmon knew, so we parleyed with her. Well then, we learned that there was a magic pool in her lair which had become stagnant, and she depended on this pool for life. Caedmon and I unblocked the channel into the pool by swimming along it. Something Talionis herself, for all her strength, could never have done, for she was too big. There was much rubble which we had to clear, but at last the channel was unblocked and the pool flowed fresh again. In return for our help, Talionis agreed never again to trouble the land of men, and also offered us gifts of our own choosing. Now that the water was flowing again, the pool had a magical hue. It put me in mind of the spring that flows under the roots of the world tree. The spring that Odin the All-Father gave one eye to drink from. I received a single sip, which gave me dreams of things to come. No doubt that helped him wrest the crown from the previous king. Corrupt old Pendress, remarked Faye into William's ear. King Ethelred, of course, had not heard her. My friend Caedmon had some smattering of sorcery even then, he went on. Noticing a golden dust in the cave, crushed fragments of an unhatched dragon's egg, unbroken by an intruder years before, he asked to take it. Apparently, such dust can be used in magic. Talionis gave him 100 pinches of the stuff. An old man rose swaying to his feet and spoke in a reedy voice. From the way everyone hung upon his words, William guessed him to be a priest or wise man. "Sire, the signs are clear," The golden sun is Lord Osric, whose 18th birthday falls on the winter solstice in 3 days' time. The ballad warns that his life is imperiled, just as Caedmon now threatens the offspring of the dragon Talionis, who in a sense must be counted your sibling by your oath of mingled blood. The king was sunk in thought for a moment. Then his rumbling voice filled the long hall. Although my friend Caedmon was a secret and dark-souled man, I have heard that he made the study of wizardry his life's work, and dwells now in a tower across the bleak Wadwoe Downs. He turned to his eldest son. Osric, gather my best men, lead them to Talionis' lair, and protect her and her unhatched offspring from Caedmon. Make haste, for the wizard must already be on his way. It is not only because of my oath to Talionis that I charge you with this quest, my son, but because I fear that our destinies are interwoven, hers and mine. Any harm which befalls her offspring may also bring down doom upon your own head. End of chapter 3. Oh well, I hope you've enjoyed my video. I'm going to say toodly the new, and I hope to see you for chapter 4. Bye.